Starting a new business is one of the most exciting projects that you can undertake, but picking the wrong domain can be the difference between your audience seeing you as a sleek branded website or just another blog around the corner. Today I'm going to share with you my top tips and tricks on how I decide on a domain name and what tools I use to get the best possible option available. So before I show you my kung fu, let's speak about what you should not do when picking a new domain name. So the first thing on the list is decide the length of your domain name. If you're gonna have a domain name with every letter of the alphabet, no one cares to remember that, and it takes a lot of brain power to just remember that name after a week or even a day. So it's always a great choice to make your domain name as short as possible. Pick a domain name, anything between 6 to 10 characters maximum. Number 2, avoid misspelling and special characters. While you can get away with particular instances where you change the spelling of the word, it needs to be selected in such a way that it doesn't give a bad user experience. So let's take, for example, we use the word Tampa, rentals. We can use the word rentals and end it with a Z instead of a S. That is still a pretty memorable website. But the problem with that also comes when users need to remember the name. They are most likely going to remember the right spelling and forget about the Z. So you'll need to have a special branding formulated around the Z so it's memorable. So it's best to implement that Z within your logo so it becomes a branded item of the domain. I get asked all the time, but Johan, what's the difference between a domain name with a lot of keywords versus a name I created from some wordplay between my surname and, let's say, location? Well, you might think that Google will favor the domain name with a keyword-rich words. That is the case, but it actually doesn't account for so much, especially when you're trying to build a brand. So when you're building a brand, you don't really want to dilute the name with keywords because it gives a slightly poor impression. It's way better to have a branded name like Google and then connect that brand name with keywords. It will be more beneficial in the long run, especially when your business starts growing as an enterprise. But that said, keyword-rich words in your domain name will always be of benefit, even if it's just to make the customer realize they are now at the right place. So there is a place and situation for both. Ideally, you want to use both these methods at the same time to get the best possible result. If you ever try to search for a .com name, you will quickly realize that, hell man, everything is already taken, so what's left? Well, that is the little riddle I'm going to solve to you later today. But before we get to that solution, let's speak about other top-level domains. So it's known that in the last couple of years, top-level domains like .net, .org has become a great hit under websites because that is the easy way for the lazy entrepreneur to find his domain name. Yes, that's right, lazy. So let's speak about when can you use these domain names. So let's, for instance, say you've got a web hosting company. Yes, the .host domain would be perfect. And in fact, I would use it for my business. But the simple problem with this is that if you have a name, let's say you open a business called Google.host. No one will remember your name as Google.host. They will remember it as Google.com. And ultimately that traffic will now be directed to a different website, even if your advertising effort is behind it. So it's not always a great choice to pick a different extension. But that said, there is definitely some instances where you can use different domain extensions. Let's say you want to launch an app. That would definitely be great if you use a different domain extension. You will find the name that you're looking for first of all, and also if your tool has a tremendous amount of value, users will go through hoops to find it and also remember it. So yes, top level domains like .net, .org can definitely be an alternative choice, but you should be careful and always consider what kind of business you have before you decide on the domain extension. And lastly, before I show you the ultimate kung fu. So for this example, I'm using the phrase beershark.com versus bestbeerintampa.com. The reason why beershark.com is a better name because it's short, memorable, it brings only 2 words together to create a business name, which is much more memorable than 3 words, for example. And also, a part of the amount of words, the name is a lot shorter. So beershark.com is clear that it is a beer company, shark referring to a brewery that is close to the ocean or sea, or in fact you can state that it's a island created beer. So from that perspective, beershark.com is a brandable name and will definitely be memorable for all your users. Let's speak about different options in domain names, how to source them, and also what we are actually looking for. So in the grand scale of things, we've got 2 options. We can all go and search for age domain, which is pretty awesome because the domain is got the years behind it as from it being registered. That will tell Google that the domain has got some more authority, and picking the right age domain can propel your business to the next level with a short amount of time, meaning that if you post blogs on that kind of domain, it's likely to get indexed immediately. If you get a domain name brand new, never registered before, there is a plus minus 12-month grace period when Google starts getting familiar with your content before they start investing, getting your content to the top level. With age domains, you can skip all that. So there is a clear advantage about searching a domain name that is aged. Our first tool we're looking at is expireddomains.net. This is a great website to find domains that's available for purchase that is aged. So once you open an account, log in, select deleted domains, and here you will find all domains with different extensions. In our case, we are looking for a .com domain. Simply select show filter. Under this section, you can narrow down the search, but ultimately what we are looking for is a word in English, or select your language. Select only available domains. We can also have more options per page. Also go to additional settings, select your domain extension, and for this demonstration I'm going to simply select .com and apply filter. Now we have all sorts of domains, and in fact if you have a domain that is specific to a niche, you can narrow the filter down and say contains beer. Apply filter. You'll also find the year the domain was initially registered, all sorts of things, but there's a caveat to this whole procedure. Let's select fuzzybeer.com. So before you select a domain from an age domain, you'll need to verify that this domain is in fact not spam. So how you test the domain is as follows. I use a free website called Pre-Post SEO. Check authority, spam score. If you find a website with a spam score more than 5, just simply pass it. The second option would be to use a tool that will tell us what domain names is already taken. So it's a quick way of brainstorming to get the best possible combination of names. This is my go-to tool, and I'll spend some time showing you how to do it. So for our last tool, I use leandomainsearch.com. With this method, you're able to quickly establish what domains are available and also give you thousands of options, alternative options if yours is not available. So we're going to type in then a word that is associated with your business. Let's say beer, and search. Once the search is done, we have options on top. We can go ahead and search by popularity, or we can in fact say, do we want the domain name to start or end with beer? So let's say we want it to end with beer, and then we search again, and now it's giving us a ton of options. If we scroll down, if the .com is in blue, it means it's available. By scrolling down, you can see there is a ton of names. But essentially what we're looking for is we're looking for something that is as short as possible. So we can also say we want it to display in terms of length. And now it's going to give us the shortest option possible. So you can see some of these options is not available. We can just scroll down, and here we get a option that's available, widebeer.com. So once we have a name that we would like, we can go and search for the name to verify that is in fact available. So the tools that I use to purchase domains is Ratelhost. They typically have a great specials running all around the year, and we can simply type in the name, search, and now it gives us options. So it's telling us wildbeer.com is available, but it's also giving us other domain extensions that is available for this particular words. And please do me a favor, support this channel, smash the like button, and that will ensure that I make great content for you, making your life as an entrepreneur much easier.